Hello, guys. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, but thanks for sticking around. So, today I'm going to show you, in fact, I have a little something to share with you today. So, I'm going to show you how to create a code in Python to shut down, restart, and log out of your system. So, without wasting any much of your time, and let's get started. All right, so without taking so much time, I'm just going to start by building my Kindle up. Okay, before I do that, I'm going to import Inter. I'm going to import the module. So I'm going to say um, from Inter from Kinter import. So this is to import Kinter, and that would enable me to be able to build an object. So right here, I'm going to start by assigning this to the Kinter. And then, sorry, this is going to be in capital letter. And then for the background, so I'm just going to give this is for the background. And then I'm just going to configure the background here. I'm just going to say configure, sorry, configure. And this is actually to give the color to the background. So the color that I will be using here is this color, colored blue. And the next is to assign um, the size to the object. So I would be creating the size for the object by using our geometry here. And this, I would be working with the X and Y axis of the object and then with the width and the height. So width and the height. Okay. Next is for, okay, let me just give this object a title. So we know the title already. So the name of this title is just going to be Shutdown, Restart, and to log out. Okay, log out. All right, so now let's see this object that we have created. So I'm just going to simply run this. All right, so here is the object that we have created. So for the next stage is to create these buttons that we will be working with. Okay, so without wasting any much of your time typing everything, I'm just going to paste um, the code for creating these buttons. All right, so right now, all right, so here is the buttons that I have created already. So this would enable you to view this button on the object. So let me run this for us to see that this buttons has been created and fixed on the Kinto object. All right, so here it is. We have the shutdown, restart, and the logout button, which we have created right here. Okay, so let me put this aside. And there it is. These are the buttons. So, and is in our master painter. And this is the text written on the button. And the background is black in color. The font ground is floral white. And the font color is this, and this is the size of the font, and it's in bold, and this is the width for the, okay, so let me put this here. and explain this. So this is the width for this button. And over here we have the border width. Width is this angle that we can see visibly like this. The width is bolder. And the height of this button and the cursor is hand. So this will enable the users to understand that this we are seeing here is a button with this hand signal that changes like this from this cursor to this hand cursor. Okay, so that is the reason for this cursor here for this button. And then it's placed from the x-axis 130, which is here, and from the y-axis, which is here as well. Okay, so same thing applies to these other buttons right here. All right, so for the next stage is to create the functionalities of these buttons. Okay, we're going to start with the shutdown. Next will be our restart, and the last is going to be our logout. Okay, so now start with the functionalities of these buttons. Okay, so let's start with the functionalities of these buttons. So right here, I'm just going to put this down and okay, not here. I prefer to just do this at the top and push every other thing down. So from here, I'm just going to use this button right here. So I'm going to give a command down here. And then call this shutdown. So this is the name that I would be working with. I'm just simply going to copy this and then define the function of this button right here and then give this line here and then go to the bottom and perform the functionality. Okay. So before we start by programming this shutdown button, there's something that there's a library called a pyttx sx3. So it's a library in Python. So actually, this that library converts text to speech. Okay, so this is how we're going to get started. We're just going to simply go to our file here, go to our settings, and then down here to our project. We're going to go down here to our project and then Python interpreter. And then right here, we're just going to click on that space on that install, just the plus sign, and then type in PYT S double T, sorry, double T SX3. Okay, so let me explain this PYTX SX3. Okay, so like I said, it is a library in Python. Okay, and this PY stands for Python. The TT double T is text to text. The S is speech, and the X is conversion. The 3 is the Python version you're making. So actually, this library is compatible with Python 3 and 2 and 3. Okay, so for this is 3. So do not worry if you have Python 2. It can as well work on your Python. And if you have 3, this is going to work for you as well. So once this comes up like this, just click on this and then click on your store and wait for some minutes for that installation to be successful. Okay, so that has been installed successfully. So this um, this library actually is going to help us to convert our text to speech. Okay, so now that is done, I'm just going to close this down and okay this over here, and then I'm going to import this library that I have installed already. So I'm just simply going to say import, and say import py double txx. right? So that is there already. And now I can simply make use of this library. So here I'm just going to say py double tsx3 dot speak method, and then I'm just going to say, I'm just going to write the question that I would want this computer to ask me, right? So I'm just going to say, so this is shutdown. So I'm just going to say, are you, all right, so in this situation, I want this computer to ask me a question if I truly want to shut down the system whenever I click on the button. So this will enable this computer to do this for me. So here is going to say, you, are you sure you want to shut down your computer? Okay, so after this stage, the next is to be able, so I want, after the stage, I want it to show me a message box asking me if I really want to shut this down or not. So there's a message box going to show a yes or a no. Okay, so that is what I am going to do here now. So I'm just going to say, next stage is going to say shut down. And since I have made use of this shutdown already, I'm just going to give another variable name to that by making something different using the underline on the underscore line there. So there, after that, I'm going to include my message box. Now you can see the message box isn't out because I have to import that. So I'm going to say from printer import message. All right, so there's an E missing here. Okay, so that is working now. So the next stage is after I have clicked on this button, it's going to ask me a question. Are you sure you want to shut down your computer? And then the message board comes up and says yes or no. So if you click yes, then it's going to shut down. If you say no, then it's not going to work that way. So here I'm just going to say, if you click on shut down, if you decide to click on the shutdown button, which is yes, then it means that then the system would need to shut down. So I'm going to start by importing my OS, which is my operating system. So I'm going to say import OS, and then make use of my OS. So I'm going to use my OS method. I'm going to use my OS library and say os dot system method. Always the system method, and then I'm going to pass a string over here. But before I do that, because I'm going to be making use of an f string to join a variable in a curly braces. So I'm just going to say here, I'm going to use my f string and then include the other string down here. I'm just going to say shut down /s and /p. And then I'm going to include my curly braces here that I would put a variable down here. So this variable, I'm just going to call it a countdown. So I'm going to define this variable up here. So countdown would be in 10 seconds. So right here, once I click on this button, it's simply going to ask me a question. Are you sure you want to shut your computer? And then a message box comes up asking if it's yes or no. So if it's yes, which is here, if it's shut down, which is yes, it means the system should shut down in 10 seconds that I have created over here. If not, then it should just return. Okay, so let me run this for us. Right, so I'm going to click on the shutdown button.
Are you sure you want to shut down your computer?
All right, so if I say yes, this is simply going to shut down. But if I say no, I'm going to return. But for the sake of this work we are on, I'm just going to say no for now. Okay, so I don't need this. I'm going to close it down. And then proceed back to what I was doing. Okay, so I'm going to close this. Okay, so now we're going to go over to the next button. And the next is going to be our restart button here. So this is command I'm going to give to this. This command should help us to execute whatever is going to be assigned to this command button. So as usual, I'm simply just going to copy this and define this button right here. And then, okay, no, it's not this. And then I'm just going to copy this over here and paste this here and just edit some of the code down here. So for the first line of code here is for the button, and then after you click the button, and then our PPTS X3 is going to ask us a question, which is our text to text speech, is going to translate this to a voice and ask us, you sure you want to restart your system? So this is start, restart your computer. And if yes, say if start, I'm going to call this restart. And let me give this restart again. Okay, and then the message box comes up and asks us if yes or no if we want to do that. So if yes, it means that, so if we click on that button, our restart button, then it shows it to this line of code for us. I'm going to edit this as well. It's going to be restart, and it's going to restart that for us. And I'm going to declare a variable called start. And this restart right here, I'm going to give it a time for that to be executed. So I'm just going to give, let's just say in 5 seconds, the computer should be able to start in 5 seconds. Okay, so every other thing here is there's nothing different from each of them. Not, there's not much difference in fact. So same thing is going to apply to the last button, which is going to be our logout button. So I'm going to go down here and include a command name for that as well. And a little bit of sluggishness here. Log out. So I would be defining this up there as usual. So define log out, and then I'm going to simply copy this, paste it down here, and then do some editing here, some modification here. I'm just going to say, you sure you want to log out of your computer? You want to log out, log out of your computer? And a message box is definitely going to come out of there and ask questions. Do you want to log out? You can say Logout BTN. And then you say if yes, if you want to log out, yes, if you click on that yes, which the yes is attached to this particular variable name attached to the box here. So if you click on that, then this line of code should execute. And it means that your system should log out in whatever variable I'm going to give here. So I'm going to call this log out and we copy this and define that variable up here and then say log out in 5 seconds. Well, so that is just it. It's as simple as that. So, and lastly is to change this forward S to forward R and then forward S for this is going to change to forward L. So this is to log out and this is to restart and this is to shut down. And this is the time frame for the countdown for shutting down and restarting the system and logging out as well. Okay, so that is it for today's topic on how to shut down, restart, and log out of your system. All right, so this is it. This is just the easy code on how to create the buttons and then give a functionalities to those buttons. All right, so here is the definition of the shutdown. Here is to restart, and here is to log out, and here is the object, the building of the object, and here is to create the buttons that you have. So you run this. Okay, so you run this, you can decide to shut, you can decide to restart, you can decide to log out. So that is your choice. Okay, so let me test this. I can decide to shut down, you can decide to restart, and decide to log out as well. All right, guys, so I hope this was helpful. So if you encounter any issues, please do not hesitate to drop a comment on the comment section. And also do not forget to like my video and follow me as well. Please emphasis on following, subscribe, okay? Thank you very much for your time, and I hope to have you around next time. Bye.